We would love it if everybody became a member of Club Twit at twit.tv/clubtwit. So on occasion, we release free episodes of Hands on Mac to show you exactly what you'll get if you join the club. Thanks for listening, and we can't wait to see you in the club. Coming up on Hands on Mac, it's time to take a look at iOS 17 and what you can expect when the new software launches, probably next month. Stay tuned.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This show is brought to you by members like you. Thanks. Welcome back to Hands on Mac. I am Micah Sargent, and today we are heading to the iPhone to look at some of the new features you can expect in iOS 17. So we've covered Mac OS, we've looked at tvOS. It's time to take a look at iOS and iPadOS, frankly, and some of the new features that you can expect to find there. Apple is gearing up for an event that we think will take place sometime in mid or early mid-September, where it will launch, or rather announce, the new iPhone and then later launch the new iPhone. And it tends to be that when the new iPhone ships, the operating system for the new iPhone, in this case iOS 17, will ship along with it. So we are expected to see iOS 17 by the end of next month. But if you're in the public beta or the developer beta, then you already have access to some of these new features. So let's take a look at the iPhone to see what's available. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the first thing that Apple actually talked about, and something that I think is kind of exciting. There is a new feature for contact posters in iOS 17. So when I call someone, when someone calls me, and when I see their contact information in the Contacts app, like so, it will display a poster instead of displaying this kind of circle that you have here. So the way that you can do this is you can set up your own contact poster. And much like how right now you can share an avatar with someone else, you are able to share instead a contact poster with someone else. So what I want to do is I'm going to tap the edit button at the top right corner of the screen and then tap the edit button below the avatar. The basic contact poster here shows the name big, Micah Twit, because this is that test account. And then there's the option to create a new one. That is what I want to do. So I'm going to choose Create New. And then I have a choice down here at the bottom. I can use the camera. I can choose a photo from my photo library. I can choose Memoji, or I can add a monogram. Let's take a look at those two at the end first. So monogram will show, as you can see, these letters here. And as I'm moving the phone back and forth, it is changing the highlight on the letter and showing a nice animation on screen, as you can see. So that is kind of a fun little detail. Now I can change the monogram. So maybe the person's middle name, Micah Tech Twit is the name. In this case, it's only letting me do 2 letters, but those 2 letters can be anything that you want. Now, the background color, we can change it to something else. So maybe I want it to be a nice green color, dark and deep saturated green. And then again, we've still got that nice animation effect as it glosses over those letters. I can tap on the text at the top to change the typeface. Perhaps I feel like it is more of a techie kind of typeface here. And we can change kind of the size or the boldness of the text, and then also change the color of that text. So we could do, some other thing. I'm going to leave it as is and then close out of that. And that could be the person's new poster. Once you see that poster, you simply tap continue, and then you can choose a contact photo that is separate from what you've just created. I'm going to choose skip at the top so that it skips that. And now I've got a new contact poster. But let's go back in. We'll choose edit. And now this time we're going to choose customize. We'll choose we'll choose poster, not contact photo, but poster. And actually, no, we don't want to do that. Instead, what we want to do is go in and create another option. So I will choose create new. And next I've got Memoji. So here I can choose one of the Memoji that I have created. So maybe I see Micah Twit as a robot, for example. I can choose the robot, and right now it's looking at my face and moving along with how my face is moving. So I could sort of create a custom photo that works for that. I'm going to choose one that already exists. I'll choose next. And now that is in the middle of the screen. Now, down at the bottom, you can choose a different Memoji. You can turn off or on the depth effect, where you can see that the Memoji is superimposed over the top of the text. We can change the background color. I definitely do not like that background color. I think here we would do something much grayer. That seems to match with the robot. And then once again, you can change the typeface at the top, and we will go with that and choose done. Now we've got that new preview poster, and now you'll see that the contact photo is being suggested as the photo that we chose for the poster. So now we've got the new option, and you'll notice, look at how this changed. Now we've got this nice sort of animation that scrolls and changes with the size. But let's hop back in and change that yet again. This time, we're going to create one with photos. And of course, the camera is going to work similar. When we tap on photos, it will pop up some suggestions. In this case, I'm going to choose pets. And we will go with either Henry or Mizzy. In this case, I'm going to choose this adorable photo of Henry yawning. And now we can kind of choose the different styles. There's this sort of natural style. There's a black and white style. There's a duotone, and there is a color wash. With duotone, we can change the style of the duotone. So maybe we want something green, or with the color wash, once again, we can change the color of that color wash. And we will go back. I think that this standard natural version looks the best. If we hit the little three dots there at the bottom, you'll notice that it's not doing anything right now. That is because there's not a depth effect with this. But once again, maybe we want to change that text, and it works the same way as it did before. And then we can tap done. And this time, let's see how, so that's the preview poster. Let's see what it looks like when it suggests a contact photo. It's a little bit zoomed out, so I'm going to hit the crop button and zoom in to really get Henry there. And then it pops up some different options for filtering. And I don't want to change the filtering on that. We'll choose continue. And now we've got this great contact photo. And you'll notice that once again, it has this great effect. One more time, we're going to go in here though. We're going to choose one that is more likely to have a depth effect. Whoops, I hit the wrong option there. We want to choose poster, and we want to change the photo. This time, I'm in the featured section, which again is more likely to have a depth effect involved. And so I will choose this photo of the San Francisco Ferry Building, and let's see if we get a depth. It doesn't look like it. Shoot. Let's try a different photo. This photo of Henry. No, once again, no depth effect. Let's see here. Here is a photo of Henry with his ear. Maybe that one will have a depth effect. There we go. So you can see that it is currently overlaid on top of that little rectangle there. Because the name is not long enough, it's not actually showing that full depth effect. But let's change this. I think I like the duotone here for this photo. And I think they might have picked the best option there. Yeah, I think it was this one maybe. Now I don't remember which one it was. We'll go with this. This looks pretty good. And then if I wanted to, I could increase the size, and you'll notice that if it gets too big, then that depth effect kind of disappears. It's just when it's right there kind of on the edge of the photo that it has that depth effect. And you can always turn the depth effect on or off. So I'll tap done, and then it will show me what the poster looks like. I'll tap continue. And this time, I think I would want to get more of Henry's little face in there, and we'll choose, keep the color the same. Actually, no, I think let's do a nice black and white option here and continue. Now we've got a new contact photo and a new poster right there for Henry. So that's a quick look at contact posters in iOS 17, which is kind of a feature that it seems Apple's pretty excited about. It is kind of a new way to customize your device and give it that sort of look that you might want for each individual person who calls you. I wanted to mention live voicemail. This is a new feature in iOS 17 that allows you to essentially, when someone places a call, up will pop a live transcription of the call that you can then choose to answer or not answer. So you are essentially, on the back end, your phone is answering the call, but it's putting it in a way that it is still a voicemail. But instead of it going to your voicemail box and you not getting it until later, it's already available to you. So you can see the text transcribed and read out for you to be able to understand what the person is sending to you. In the same vein, when we're talking about voicemails, I wanted to mention another feature, which is audio message transcriptions. So you've long been able to send audio messages via text, and I will tell you that I'm guilty of sending audio messages via text, even though I don't like to receive them in return, because I'm often not in a place where I'm able to listen to what the audio message is. But with iOS 17, when someone sends you an audio message in iOS 17, a transcription will come along with that audio message. So I sent myself one earlier, and you can see that down below the message, here is the audio transcription. It says, when you send an audio message to someone in iOS 17, they are able to see a transcription of what is being said in the audio message. It could help save time if you're in a place where you can't listen to an audio message but want to see what the person said. It's one of my favorite new features in iOS 17. That just so happens to be the audio message that I recorded and sent to myself because, again, I needed to have it come from someone in iOS 17. I did a test earlier where if the message is sent from an earlier version of iOS, it does not have a transcription. So it would appear that the transcription is taking place on the device of the person sending the message. It is not taking place on the device of the person receiving the message. So that's important to understand. All right, let's keep going. This time, I wanted to talk about stickers, another new feature in iOS 17. Stickers have received a bit of an improvement where you can now create custom stickers if you would like, and some of them can be animated. So here on my iPhone, you can see a few stickers. I've got one of Henry and me sitting here and just kind of smiling. And if I tap and hold on that sticker, I can drag it just like I've been able to in the past and place it on something. I guess I'll place it on there. I've also got some animated stickers like this one of Henry eating. So once again, I'll place that on top of something. And each of these stickers, I can actually go in and edit. So if I tap on this, well, no. If I tap and hold on this sticker, then I can choose Edit Effect, and I can change the type of effect that it has on it. Right now, I added an outline. I could choose Comic. I could choose Puffy, where it adds this nice puffy effect, or a shiny holographic sticker. I'm going to keep it on Outline as I like that. But at any point, I can create a new sticker by hitting the plus button. When I hit the plus button, it will pop up to show me some different photos. And so I could go into Animals, for example, and then I could choose this photo of Mizzy, where she is staring at the camera, and it shows you a preview of kind of what that looks like. I don't think that one looks very good, so I'll choose this photo of Henry instead, which looks much better, and I will add that sticker. Now I can add effect to it, like an outline or a comic or a puffy, which is what I think I'm going to do with this one. And then now I've got this nice puffy new sticker that I can add to messages. That is cracking me up. And you'll notice that that effect is still there on the sticker in its large size as much as it was in its small size. All of the other stickers are also available in this section. So your Memoji stickers are here. Emoji stickers are here as well. So if you want to react to something like a thumb or a hands raised emoji, you can drop that just as easily. And then other stickers that may come with different apps that you have. It also has your recent stickers placed in this section as well. Really cool effect. Up next is Standby. I am so excited about Standby. Standby is a new mode for the phone when it is locked that lets you access specific information even while the phone is locked. So you can think of it as a way to kind of create a dashboard experience for your phone when it is charging. So if your iPhone is on its side while it's charging and it is locked, then it will turn into this new Standby version. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show this to you on screen because of the way that the capture works, but I'll be able to show you some examples that Apple has provided for what Standby looks like. There are calendar options, so you can have kind of a big calendar and a clock going. You can use photos. You can have live activities, full screen. So those different apps that support live activities, like your favorite food ordering app, can show up in full screen on the device. Or perhaps if you are talking to Siri and you want to have a question answered, you can see Siri results in full screen, as well as a nice feature for Standby that will change the color and brightness of the screen depending on the ambient light in the area. So if it's dark, aka if it's at night and you have your Apple or your iPhone charging on your bedside table, it's not bright and blasting your eyes. It's very dark and red and easy to read without it waking you up or keeping you up. It's a really clever feature and probably my most favorite new feature that is coming to iOS 17. The next feature that I am excited about, I know all of these features are very exciting, but I'm pumped that this has finally come to iOS 17. It is the introduction of interactive widgets. So up to this point, what a developer has been able to do is essentially create kind of a shortcut where if you tap on their widget, it will do one thing. So for my Fantastical widget, for example, I could tap on it anywhere on the screen, not just where that little plus button is, and it would do it would be an app shortcut that takes me into the Fantastical app and lets me add an event. Different developers have basically let you choose what that tap does. So if you were, for example, ordering food, then maybe the tap will pop you right into the food ordering screen. In iOS 17, you can do interactions with widgets right there on your device without having to pop into the app. So, for example, I could turn off the lights in my office without having to go into the Home app itself. So watch this lamp back here. Actually, let me change over. Watch this lamp back here. Whoops, this is tough. There we go. Watch this lamp right here as I hit the button for office floor lamp. It goes off. Now I'm going to come back and you will kind of see it in the background a little bit. I tap it again and the light comes on. Before, what would happen is it would actually pop open the Home app and then let me do the control there. Now the widgets are interactive right here on the screen. It's a fantastic addition, and I can't wait to see how developers are going to make use of this going forward. A couple of other things that I wanted to mention. These are sort of smaller features, but will have an impact overall on how iOS 17 improves. One of those features is a new version of autocorrect using what's called a transformer model. So if you've heard anything about ChatGPT, if you've heard anything about Midjourney, if you've heard anything about these new generative AI systems, many of these systems use something called a transformer model. And it just basically, just think of it as a different way for an AI to think about things, a different way for it to process things. And what we've seen is, particularly in text, it is a better way for an AI to, quote unquote, think about things, to process things. So Apple has changed the way that autocorrect works to make use of a transformer model or transformer models to better suggest autocorrect features or suggestions. That means if you like to curse, it's going to stop recommending that you change a certain word to duck instead every single time. And if you have a friend whose name is spelled a little differently, you're not going to keep having that issue where it's asking you over and over again if you want to change that name to something else. I have seen the improvements. They are real, and I'm very excited for more people to get their fingertips on this new autocorrect. The other thing that I wanted to mention are back-to-back requests to Siri. Up till this point, you have had to say the trigger phrase, "Hey, you know who," and then you would say, "Turn on the lights in my living room." Then you would say, "Hey, you know who," and then you would say, "Set the lights to purple." Now, Siri can take these two requests back to back. So I could say, "Hey, you know who, turn on the lights in the living room and set them to blue or set them to direct sunlight." It'll all take place with just that one request, as opposed to having to sort of issue them individually. It is a great new way to kind of keep everything in lockstep and not have to do it piece by piece by piece. Apple's example that they give is, "You know who, text Emma I'm on my way, and then remind me to water the plants when I get home." So you can have two totally separate thoughts and it's going to do them both. That's great. And I should also mention that in iOS 17, you don't just have "Hey, you know who" as a trigger phrase. You can just say its name, the assistant's name, all on its own. This is something that you can change if you don't like that, but it is a possibility. So those are just some of the many features coming to iOS 17. I can't stress enough how many sort of small quality of life features are coming in iOS 17. And of course, I'll be covering more as we creep ever closer to the introduction. Folks, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Hands on Mac. I love to bring you the show every week. Email me, Micah@twit.tv, Micah@twit.tv. I'd love to hear what you have questions about. If there's stuff that you want me to cover, questions you want me to answer, etc. And as always, thank you for being a Club Twit subscriber. It means the world to me, and I appreciate the support. I will be back next Thursday talking about more new features, this time for a different device. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, Editor-in-Chief of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I join with my co-host to bring you This Week in Space, the latest and greatest news from the final frontier. We talk to NASA chiefs, space scientists, engineers, educators, and artists, and sometimes we just shoot the breeze over what's hot and what's not in space, books, and TV. And we do it all for you, our fellow true believers. So whether you're an armchair adventurer or waiting for your turn to grab a slot in Elon's Mars rocket, join us on This Week in Space and be part of the greatest adventure of all time.